think we're live or we're recording. I mean, yes. Hello, everybody. This is Swamp Cleaner back with another video for you. I hope you guys are all in that Christmas spirit because it is right around the corner. It is midweek next week, so I hope everybody enjoys their pretty much week-long holiday. And then it's back to back with New Year's Eve, so I hope everybody enjoys Christmas presents and then enjoys themselves a good shot or two of alcohol. That's of course if you are of age. If you are not of age, just do it when your parents aren't looking. I didn't say that. I don't endorse that, but oh darn it. Okay, well hopefully I didn't already end the video before it even starts. So let me get right into it by introducing my guest for today. We are going to be doing a video about our favorite Christmas movies. So I'm joined with RamblinManTV and I'm joined by VermiciousKnid. Say hello, guys.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello, everyone.
Alrighty. See, those guys, they are in the Christmas spirit. You can hear it in their voices, right? So, so today we are going to discuss our favorite Christmas movies. We'll reminisce about great scenes, great actors, great premises, why those movies touched our hearts, and then we'll touch on what actually makes a movie a Christmas movie and what qualifies, such as maybe like Die Hard or maybe The Nightmare Before Christmas. We'll discuss that for a little bit. We'll have a good time. Hope you guys enjoy. So let's get right into it. So who wants to go first with their favorite Christmas movies?
I can go first. I have my list.
All right, go right ahead.
All right, so my top three, and this is based on the ones I will either watch first or the most during the season. So there are three, and then I have one off the beaten path one. So 8 Crazy Nights, Christmas Vacation, and Deck the Halls, with my weird one being Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands. Okay. All right. So let's start with the first one, which is 8 Crazy Nights. See, that one is actually because I also have an honorable mentions list of some movies that because I know the ones we love are our subjective favorites, but of course, you know, there's going to be somebody maybe in the comment section that is going to have an issue with some of our choices. So please be mindful, everybody, that these are our personal favorites. So of course, there are going to be some ones that are going to be considered lower on our lists that you might love. So please don't be offended. So yeah, 8 Crazy Nights is one of my honorable mentions, but yes, that is a very good shout. A great Adam Sandler movie. Has a lot of great cameos as well. I actually watched it last week with my wife. She hasn't seen it. She saw it for the first time and she had a good time. And it's a very fun movie and it has a really good message. So what is your take on that? Because what made it stick out as one of your favorites?
It just I'm a huge Sandler fan. I love that style of goofy humor, the slapstick stuff. I know a lot of people don't, and it does. It has a great message, and I find it has some message of unity in it because it's about Christmas, but it's about a Jewish guy essentially. So I think it's the tie that binds. But it's just a fun, good spirited movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's because Whitey. I really love his arc because it's almost pretty much like a tandem, even though it's focused on Stone. Why am I forgetting his first name there? Adam Sandler's character, but I really enjoy Whitey because I love to see that he actually in the end gets the recognition he deserves.
Well, and I think in most movies that Adam Sandler does, he's basically himself, and that works fine. That character of Whitey is very unique and very interesting, and I don't even know who voiced him, but whoever did.
Well, it's Adam Sandler.
Is it Whitey is Sandler?
Yeah,
Well,
he.
Is
Oh yeah,
Whitey,
Ramblin'. Go ahead, Ramblin'.
Is Whitey the main character? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the movie.
It's that's why I enjoy it because it's actually you don't really know because Adam Sandler's character, and that's why I'm like, why am I spacing on it? He's supposed to be the main motivation because he's supposed to.
Davey.
Davey,
Davey, yeah.
He's supposed to be the main character because he has the redemption arc. But Whitey is such a great support character with his own arc that it's kind of gets mixed up, and that's why throughout the entire movie you were engaged, even though it's like 82 minutes long. So it feels a lot longer than that because you're engaged the entire time, and it goes from one scene to the next, which is really fun. But yeah, like the one scene where they're all doing the bum diddy bum bum song because that's what
So at the end, yeah.
That's my wife found that through TikTok because guess what? All the kids have found this movie and they're all memeing and doing TikTok shorts with that song. So that's how she found it. And she's like, "What is this movie?" I'm just like, "Oh, that's Eight Crazy Nights." And I'm like, "Do you want to watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so she's sticking around because she's just waiting for that scene. And then she's actually starting to say like, "I'm getting invested in this movie. Why am I getting invested? Why am I liking this movie?" I'm like, "Because it's a good movie."
Because it doesn't suck.
Alrighty, let's move on. What you said, Christmas Vacation. Now I know that some of our lists are doubling over, so I'm gonna let because Ramblin', you said Christmas Vacation is also on your list of favorites, correct?
Yes, of course. Yes, I love
Uh,
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It has all the
All
good
right,
vibes.
so I'll let you take the 4 on Christmas Vacation, even though I know you guys really love that one. I have I'll enjoy if it's on in the background like on TBS or something, but I just don't know what it is when it comes to Chevy Chase. I just not really a fan of any of his movies really, but uh I know it's a very iconic when it comes to its scenes. So go ahead, Ram. I'll let you take the 4 on why it sticks out in your mind as a really good Christmas movie and why you enjoy it so much.
Well, it's just like that National Lampoon comedies are always hilarious to me. I know it's a lot of physical comedy, but there's just always so much random craziness going on. So like Christmas Vacation, one of the big things for me is the scene where the cat chomps on the Christmas lights that are when he plugs it into the tree and the cat's under the couch. Because I was telling you right before, that's a similar thing that actually happened at my house one year when we had 2 cats, and they climbed up into the tree and they bit down on the Christmas wire, and we just heard the cat screeching before it went running out of the tree, basically as a projectile. The cat was fine. Don't worry, the cat was okay. But it just like it reminds me a little bit of it's dysfunctional. There's all kinds of craziness going on with different family members and stuff. It reminds me of my own family a little bit, if we were Midwestern instead of Southern, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's good heartwarming message too, and there's a lot of comedy for all ages in there.
And it's very relatable, right? Because it isn't. It's clearly it's wacky, but it is just a basic regular family with all their other family coming in for Christmas.
Yeah, like you got the one lady who shows up with a cat in a box or something, right? As like a gift.
A grandma. Yeah.
Grandma, yeah.
She's like out of her gourd half the time because she's just getting to that stage.
Yeah.
Like there's that one scene with the super they messed up the turkey, super dry turkey, and it's just like, oh man. And what's the context behind the famous pool scene with the chick in the red bikini? What's the context behind that?
I think that's from a different movie, isn't it?
No, it's Christmas Vacation. He sees her at the store when he's shopping for a present, and it's him just fantasizing about her. And I'm not sure why they inserted that in the movie at that point, but I mean Chevy Chase is that's quirky like that, so I guess it makes sense. And that's probably why you don't like him because it is quirky thing. So,
well, see now. One shout out for Chevy Chase is Caddyshack. That is a brilliant movie. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. So that is an exception to Chevy Chase. But yeah, like everything. But like Christmas Vacation. That's a very great shout because everybody like my father. He loves that movie, so he'll play that every year. So that's why it's always on somewhere in the background. So that's why I'm like pretty much, even though like I'm not a fan, I like pretty much know pretty much most of it by scene by scene. So that's a great shout again. And Vermicious, what was your third favorite?
Deck the Halls.
Deck the Holes. Now, I'm not familiar with that one, so please do explain the plot, explain why it reaches out to you and why it is one of your favorites.
So Deck the Halls, I think that's maybe early 2000s, maybe somewhere around 2010. I'd have to check to see. But it's Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick. And,
okay, now that sounds like a good matchup.
it really is, and it's silly, right? It's like the rest of them. I mean, the whole premise of the movie is Danny DeVito and his wife and family move in like across the street from.
I've seen this movie,
yes.
And they have a competition.
Right?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
Not a competition so much. It's just that Danny DeVito's character, for whatever reason, it's almost like a midlife Christmas crisis where he's decided that the way for him to be someone is for his house to be seen from space and it's on satellite. And he spares like no expense, sells everything he has, essentially runs out his wife, and has this ridiculous house that's plays on loop at night that makes the other families insane. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really good.
And who's the wife? Isn't it like Selma Hayek or something like that? Or who's
what? I'm sorry.
The wife, isn't it like Selma Hayek or something?
No, it's not, because I would remember that.
Oh, geez, it's some really.
Yeah, it's she's well known. Yeah,
Cheryl Hines. Is it Cheryl Hines?
Is it Katie Holmes?
Kristen Davis.
Oh, okay.
Kristen Davis and Kristen Chenoweth, I think, are the two female leads.
Oh, okay. Because like you see them and like pop up in a bunch of different movies too. That's why that's why I remember, because they just get together and just like, what are our husbands doing? Because like Matthew Broderick gets like obsessed too, and he's like constantly just like being this nosy pest and stuff. Oh man.
Yeah, so they're like being obsessive in opposite directions, and there's a number of little side stories that are just goofy and hilarious. One of the best scenes which is like just the most painful scenes if you're watching it, because it's you thinking of yourself in that situation. Matthew Broderick's character plans like 10 Christmases ahead and has Christmas trees planted, and every year goes and cuts it, and it's like a family thing. And Danny DeVito character's there. And I spilled gas, like a can of gas, just accidentally knocked over it, not intentional, just spilled it. And so Matthew Broderick's like cutting down a tree, and at 1 second, someone says, "Do y'all smell gas?" And Matthew Broderick's character, he's like, "Well, because he's cutting a tree at this point." He says, "Well, let's be fair, I'm swinging pretty hard over here." And he makes one more swing and accidentally hits like an iron rebar hitting, holding the tree up, and there's a spark. And then all 10 years of trees go up immediately.
Oh my god! Oh Lord, man! See, I was when you were talking about that, it reminded me of scenes from Christmas from the Cranks, where
let's talk about that movie.
That's a good one too. That's actually that's older. That's late 90s, I think, or right at 2000.
Or like
I
think it's like early mid 2000s. Yeah, because that's a funny one. Jamie Lee Curtis is really funny in that movie.
Have you guys heard the conspiracy theories about that movie?
Conspiracy theories? No.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where it's like people say Christmas with the Cranks it's like a representation of communism, or it's like a satanic movie. Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with like Wendigoon, but he did a whole video about it. I mean, he's kind of
Frosty. Is Frosty like?
Yeah, Frosty's like Satan or something. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, he's kind of trolling when he did his like video breakdown of how it is that, but it's like there's like a meme that Christmas with the Cranks is like a movie about communism and Satanism or something. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do. We'll move on to Ramblin's. Even though we did cover one of his, we'll move on to Ramblin's two favorites. I'll just do a couple. I'll just do these other honorable mentions of mine before we get there. Even though people will probably have a conniption in the comments, but Home Alone and It's a Wonderful Life are in my honorable mentions, even though those movies are very excellent. They are just, even though I'll watch them and I love them, they're just not, in the favorite section. But what do you guys think of Home Alone and It's a Wonderful Life?
Home Alone's a classic for me. Like when I try to think of a Christmas movie, Home Alone's where my mind goes immediately. The first Home Alone movie, um, fantastic movie, classic. I love. Like I was talking to you a little bit about it before with the whole "Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animals" thing, and then like that's just like a great scene. It's just a great movie. It's a classic. I love the whole kid being stuck alone, um, doing all kinds of gags and pranks on the burglars stuff.
Sorry, gentlemen, my audio cut out. My output cut out.
Oh.
Back.
Okay. What did you hear? My honorable mentions?
Did I hear what?
Did you hear I went to our honorable mentions?
I'm sorry, I did not hear that.
Okay.
I was viciously trying to fix my audio.
Oh, okay. We're just touching on Home Alone and It's a Wonderful Life. Those are honorable mentions of mine. I was just saying, please hold up in the comment section. Don't be very angry, because just because they're not in my favorite section doesn't mean they're not great movies. So we were just touching on Home Alone and It's a Wonderful Life. So Ramblin was just talking about Home Alone there.
But I mean, yeah, just Home Alone just definitely brings classic childhood Christmas vibes for me. The whole like just the way the movie feels is very reminiscent.
Well, when I was a kid, it was played on one of my fears of being left behind somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like your thing. So it's like it's captive. So it's like I'm like 8 years old and I'm watching this. I'm captivated, but then I'm also laughing my ass off near the end. So, and then everything works out. So, whew.
Yeah, great film. And It's a Wonderful Life. It's just I think of it more of like it's a classical Christmas movie, I guess is the way I
It's
would
also
put it.
in that, but that one's a really deep story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
That
really
that one's
deep
got
themes.
some layers to it.
Plus, it's a very adult. It deals with pretty adult themes too. I saw it for the first time fully last year, and it brought tears to my eyes because it's actually quite moving. It's actually a very, very well done movie, very well paced, great acting. Jimmy Stewart always is a great actor. So I mean, yeah, it's even though it's not in the favorite pile, it's in the legendary pile. So yeah, can't go wrong with watching that on the holidays, especially if you still have some of your more older family members, like if your grandparents are still around. Maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't. So they
And
always love.
I prefer to watch it in black and white.
Oh, they have it in color?
Yes.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Yeah, I prefer. Yeah, if I've seen it black and white, that's probably what it should just be watched in black and white.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty in color, but I don't know. For me, it's not the same effect. But I'm a little bit older than y'all, so I probably am used more to the black and white one.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a color one either. I was imagining the black and white version in my head. Did they just is there a remake or did they just like Technicolor it or something?
No, it was an early Technicolor, I believe, or somewhere. It wasn't too long after because I think the original one was what was it that the early 50s, I think was the original one, or the
40s
maybe, and they weren't coloring stuff till I think near the 60s. So
yeah, like early 60s is when they started making color. Yeah, like more of the norm.
Right on.
Alrighty, so let's go to Ramblin'. You still have two favorites on your list. I know we covered Christmas Vacation, but go ahead. What are the other two on your list? And go ahead, pick which one you want to talk about first.
So I wanted to pick some edgy ones. So I picked Bad Santa and Die Hard. Die Hard's always on my list for best Christmas movie just because I want to argue with people about it. I love Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie for me. Reminds me of my parents were divorced when I was really young. So I spent most Christmases with my dad, and it just reminds me of hanging out with my dad watching action movies because that's what he liked to watch, But yeah, Die Hard, great movie, fantastic. Bad Santa, I don't know if I would say it's a great movie. But it's a Christmas movie. I mean,
It's a very memorable movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember watching.
You're like,
I think
gouge
I've
your eyes
seen.
out, memorable.
Do you remember he like the wooden pickle? Oh my lord.
I remember the movie starts out with Mall Santa getting drunk in a bar, lamenting his life.
Banging some shit.
Well, that happens later on in the movie, I think.
Oh.
Does it happen at the start? I know he walks out of the bar drunk in the opening scene. And he pukes in a garbage can.
I don't like it as a Christmas movie personally, but however, it is a hilarious movie to the point of disturbance at times, but it's still hilarious. The black dwarf that plays, I forget his name, but he's in so many movies and he is great in that. He is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that was
he's
the same little guy in
yeah.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
That guy is just straight up asshole. Like I'm glad he gets what was coming to him at the end of the movie. So
yeah.
Now, have y'all seen Bad Santa too?
I probably saw it, but I don't.
Yeah, I did too, but it just didn't capture. It just didn't capture the same.
I watched it and I must have like delicate sensibilities or something, because I'm like horrified half the time. I'm like, that's like so obnoxious and gross. I don't even want to really see it.
Yeah,
no, the first one was good enough, and then they just couldn't quite catch the same kind of vibe in the second one. No,
I think they were just shooting for obnoxious and gross in that one.
Sequelitis or something like that.
It's kind of a redemption story, like the main character, Willie, who plays the Santa Claus guy. He's like rock bottom, the most of the movie. Like you can't really be any worse of a person than this guy is. But I don't know. There's something about it where towards the end, it kind of seems like he makes a change. I like
the first one or the second one.
The second one, or I'm sorry, the first one. I don't remember this. I don't remember the second one.
Yeah, I don't either, except that it was gross. The first one I agree with because it was about the kid.
Yeah, Thurman Merman.
Right. And but you're right, because he starts taking care of the kid and and becoming worried about the kid. So I agree that is a good point.
Yeah, the kid had some awful parents who just
I just love the part where it's just like, I'm making tostadas. He's like, that's not a tostada, and he's just like, puts on some salsa. Now it's a tostada. Oh man.
The Advent calendar, with booze in it, and then he drinks them all or something.
He got all drunk, so he like rips open all the chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
feels bad about it, so he fixes it, but then it's all fucked up, and he's just like putting candy corn or some weird shit inside.
And you remember his grandma was there, but she was like completely out.
Would you like me to make you some sandwiches?
yeah. And I like the whole robbing the mall storyline was cool, and the idea that they're like professional criminals.
And then they had the sheriff from World's Wildest Police Videos.
yeah.
As the sheriff that's going to arrest him.
It's just a classic movie. It's one of those movies I remember watching when I was probably in like late middle school, early high school, sitting at home watching FX.
It's like just pushing the boundaries of what you're like. Oh, that's like I didn't know I could that could happen.
I didn't know they could show this on TV.
One thing I will give it, so I always enjoy, whether it's a game or a movie or a book, I really enjoy plots that are unique, like something we haven't really seen before. And that one kind of wins the award for that. I mean, it does have that.
Yeah. And Die Hard, of course. I mean, everybody knows Die Hard, I feel like, but great movie. Takes place on Christmas at a Christmas party. He's trying to get to his estranged wife to try to make up with her. Terrorists, take over the building, hold everyone hostage. They're trying to get into a vault, and there's loads of Christmas music on the soundtrack. It's just great flick, or great action movie. A lot of cool one-liner scenes, and it's a classic. I even remember like the Tower arcade video game they had for Die Hard.
Now I'll ask the question, since it is your favorite, so we'll touch on this now about what does and doesn't make Christmas movie. Ver, are you in the camp that Die Hard is or isn't a Christmas movie?
Is not, but not because it's not a great movie, because it's an absolutely fabulous movie. But
Okay.
while it happens during Christmas, Christmas is not involved in it.
Okay, now I would like we'll take a couple minutes. I'd like you to expand on why you believe that is, and then I'm going to rebut because I have a few few good points that I believe that puts it strongly, firmly in the it is a Christmas movie. But go ahead, expand on why you believe that it is not.
I think simply because Christmas is not part of the plot in any way.
That it?
That's it. It's just not part of the story. It may be have happened during Christmas, and you see it if you kind of look in the backgrounds a little bit, but it's not part of the story in any way.
Well, okay. I guess I'll rebut that because I even did a video on this several years back. It's on my YouTube channel, and one of the main premises of him flying across the country is yes, his marriage is slightly strained with his wife, but one of the perfect opportunities to be with his wife and his children is on the holiday setting. So it's a great time for him to be with his family on the holidays. It gets him an excuse to leave his very testing job as a detective in New York City, and he can go on a vacation and spend time with his family. So it's a good timing for that. Plus, if Ramlin's correct, not only is there Christmas music throughout the soundtrack and in the movie, but there's also in little editings of music scores or the little dynamic music that's happening in the scenes. You can hear little Christmas jingles and jangles, little things going on like that. There's also the premise of the bad guys using the cover of the holiday to try to steal. And they just ran into the Christmas party. There's the famous ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun. So we're leaning into a bunch of different elements, and also using the factor of Christmas to advantages for both the bad guys and the good guy.
Yeah, I'd say the whole I mean, you're kind of right with the Christmas not being part of a plot. I can see where you're coming from. Like the whole thing basically takes place at a Christmas party. But my argument for it being a Christmas movie revolves around the major theme of the movie being that the main character is trying to get to his family on Christmas. That's really all he wants to do. And all these freaking terrorists taking his wife and everybody in the building hostage and all that stuff. All that's just the stuff that's getting in the way, right? And maybe it's like a metaphor for things getting in between us spending time with their families and that quality time and stuff like that. Maybe, or maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much there, but it's a damn fine movie.
Oh, another good point. There is even some snow.
There is.
In the
Yeah.
movie. So I mean, there's some white powdery substances as well. So,
I mean, RoboCop has cocaine in it, but it doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Alrighty. So I think we'll agree to disagree because I know the debate on whether Die Hard is or isn't a Christmas movie will be a forever debate. It will spring up every year, and everybody will have it, and we'll have a good old time, and then have some alcoholic eggnog afterwards, and clink glasses together. Another one that probably that we can all agree on that isn't a Christmas movie would be Nightmare Before Christmas, because we were talking about that before we started the recording, Ramblin' and I, that Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. It is pretty much usurping Christmas to try to pretty much, I think, what's the main character? Jack?
Skellington.
Yeah, Skellington. He's actually pretty much getting carried away with pretty much becoming a dictator, in my opinion, usurping Christmas and making it into this horrible thing. So, yeah, I think we can all agree that isn't a Christmas movie, correct?
Yeah, for me, in my mind, it's a Halloween movie. Yeah, that's where it sits in my brain. I remember being a kid and watching it on Halloween. I remember seeing it on TVs at the Haunted Swamp when I was really young. Stuff like that. it's for me. It's definitely a Halloween movie.
I think it suffices for both in my mind, Halloween or Christmas. And to my litmus test to visit a Christmas movie, the plot involves Christmas. So I think it definitely and Halloween, right? So in my mind, it's both. But the one no one ever asks about is Gremlins.
Gremlins.
I knew that. I knew that was going to pop up somewhere in the discussion. But yeah, like actually, I've only seen like the last like 30 minutes of Gremlins, where like
You've never watched Gremlins?
Not fully. No.
What is wrong with you?
Well, why do I always get that reaction? Everybody always gets really, really upset.
That's like somebody saying, "I've seen chocolate at the store, but I've never tasted it."
I haven't seen it in a long time. I just don't remember it being a Christmas movie.
I heard that it takes place at Christmas, but it's just dealing with crazy little gremlin things.
It takes place during Christmas, and it's part of the plot because the Mogwai, the gremlin, is purchased as a Christmas present.
Oh, okay. All right. Plus, isn't it wearing also like a little Santa costume at some point? The gremlin?
I don't know.
Or wearing a Santa hat?
I don't remember.
Some
green
little
the second one.
Yeah, some gremlins wearing like some little weird Santa hat going, hey.
Oh yeah. I think that may be the first one. I know what you're talking about, but they did have the second one, which was also actually a good movie. Not as good, but it was good. I think that one was just during Christmas or something. It really wasn't a Christmas movie.
I think one of them gets microwaved at some point, and I remember Gizmo being cool.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, one of the mom microwaves. One of them early on when they first come out.
So it's kind of like, is it kind of like demon like gremlins attacking a family at Christmas time?
Well, like they're cute and cuddly little critters at first, but they have all these. They get them from like a shop in Chinatown, right? And the guy that sells them.
China.
Well, yeah, it was China.
It was China. It's all your fault.
But the guy that sells them to him tells him all these rules, like don't feed them after midnight, don't get them wet.
He actually doesn't sell it to him. The kid does. His son or his grandson.
Oh, right.
Because the old man doesn't want to sell it because he believes it to be. I think he actually says the world's not ready for the Mogwai or something like that. So it's the kid trying to make money that sells it to the dad.
See, because this reminds me of Chucky, but it's just gremlins instead of like a doll.
Well, if you can't get them wet and you can't feed them after midnight, if you do either of those things, if you feed them after midnight, they spawn. One spawns more gremlins.
Oh,
and if you get them wet, is when they turn to like demonic things.
Oh, goody. Oh, okay, so that's why they're cuddly, cute, fluffy, Furby looking things.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to like this, like,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now I'm starting to see. Okay. Yeah, but it's like it kind of like it reminds you of Chucky. Chucky's like, hey, I'm just like a cute little doll toy. You want to play? And then after midnight, he's taking the butcher knife and stabbing you.
That has nothing to do with midnight.
Well, I don't know. When it always happens when he attacks people at night, or at first. I don't know. I'm not really a big Chucky fan either. So
Chucky's like a slasher villain. This was more like there was definitely the things attacking the family, but if I remember correctly, there wasn't really like gore in Gremlins or anything like that. Like it was a family kind of more.
No, it was.
Family.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, and it had like a couple of side stories, and there was nothing gross, nothing gory. There's one or two. One or the two of the demonic gremlins, I think, die horribly, but it's like not a real person, so it's not.
Okay.
That's not horrible.
Okay, that's better because I don't because mixing like graphic horror with Christmas is like silly because like for example, like I'm never gonna watch it, but my wife loves it. Terrifier.
Oh yeah, I thought about putting Terrifier 3 on my list. I considered it briefly.
No, that's definitely a niche following, but people love that who are in the horror scene. So
now the interesting thing about the Chucky movie is I believe Chucky was a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Oh, like the first movie?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay. Because I know then the story is he just like lives forever inside the doll and then it goes he like goes from family to family to family, from movie to movie to movie.
Yeah, his soul got it was a criminal who believed in voodoo, and transferred his soul to the doll because he was about to die.
Yeah, and he gets resurrected and stuff.
And he's trying to find a body. Like he's trying to find a body to.
Oh yeah,
go
and then
into.
then there's like Jennifer, what's her face, Tilly, or was like she
That
becomes
was
the
like a
female doll.
third one, I think.
Like
Bride
the
of
female
Chucky or
doll. Yeah,
whatever?
Bride of Chucky. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
female doll, and then like they're trying to do something gross with the turkey baster.
Yeah.
And nasty stuff
That
like
one
that.
went off the rails.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was too. But that's where I was just like, nope, not gonna be watching that. So anyway, I'm gonna move on to my favorite Christmas movies. I have different ones here. First off, I'm going to start with the Muppets Christmas Carol. It's the Muppets' take on the classic tale of Scrooge, and pretty much him learning his lessons and seeing the light and not being a Scrooge and being a nice, good old guy on Christmas. And the Muppets, I always loved the Muppets when I was a kid. I always watched the Muppets. So anything Muppet related is, I guess there's a Muppet bias here, I guess a little bit. So, but I just enjoy one of the main things is the acting. The actor they chose to play Ebenezer Scrooge, Michael Caine, can't beat Michael Caine, one of the best actors in history, in my opinion. And he does such a wonderful job at conveying the emotions that he's going through the stages of the past, the present, the future, and pretty much coming to terms with him being a rotten dude to becoming a very kind soul. And I enjoyed the story, and Rizzo and Gonzo pretty much guiding you along. It's always funny as a comic relief. So it was just a really fun take on a heartwarming story. What do you guys think?
Love it. I mean, Christmas Carol is a classic. There's all kinds of different forms of the stories. There are other movies that are heavily influenced by them, or by the story. I always love the idea of a redemption story where it's like no matter how sour, bad, negative somebody is, there's always a way back. And Christmas is the time for miracles, special circumstances to sort of bring those things about, you know. Yeah, I dig it. It's a fantastic story.
I think the Michael Caine does such a good job in that. I think that's probably in my mind, overall the second best telling of that story. The one with Patrick Stewart, I personally believe, is the best one. But clearly, those are kind of in two separate arenas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my best friend recently told me he had read recently about the Muppet version was when they were getting ready to record that or make that film. Caine said he was going to play it straight, like he would never acknowledge that there were anything that he was talking anything but people, and he was going to never deviate into like the comedic side of it. He just was going to play it straight, which I think actually kind of made it. One of the things that made it, let's put it that way.
Doesn't he like twist Gonzo's nose at one, or was that somebody else who does that? Like Gonzo was like sitting up and he like takes his nose and twists it or something like. I forgot what scene that was.
I don't remember.
But like that's fun because he's like just like Mr. Cratchit, and he's just acting like Kermit the Frog. He's just a normal dude, and that's what makes it such a good, because it's just a Christmas Carol but with Muppets, and it's just so enjoyable. And one of the best use of the Muppets and placement was the Marley and Marley, the two silly old Muppets that would always laugh.
Yeah, they had two dead guys instead of one. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That was one of my favorite scenes.
It's my favorite Muppets gag by far.
Yeah,
that was one of the original ones from their show.
Yeah,
because those two guys were always in the audience.
Theater, the box seats of the theater.
Cracking lines, jokes about how old they were. Alrighty, next up on my list, I'm gonna save my favorite for last. But the next one up on my list is a older classic. It was made in the 50s, White Christmas, starring Bing Crosby, and it's a very good story about takes place right at he's a World War II vet, and he is now got back into the circle of like doing a singing, and he was doing like a traveling show with I forgot what the other actor's name is, but he's like his
Danny
partner.
Kaye, I believe.
Yeah, and they catch the eye of like two, like, is it? Oh wait, or am I? No, I'm crossing this with. Am I crossing this with another movie where they pretend that they're dressed as women? I think I'm crossing that with another movie. Yeah, I am. I'm thinking about another movie from the 50s that's like a sitcom, like it's fun.
Oh yeah,
movie.
where they dress up as and they sing the sister song.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
different movie, but I think it's because some of them are the same actors. But no, it's very heartwarming. Where White Christmas is, they catch the eye of these. It's like a pair of other like women singers, and they're trying to look for like humble dudes, but these guys are like braggadocious, so they have to like win over their hearts while Christmas is coming up, and they went to a pretty much a cottage retreat, and they were going to have Christmas there, and they surprised Bing Crosby with his entire old platoon and his commanding officer, and he pretty much did like an impromptu Christmas music number, and it was such a very heartwarming movie. I haven't seen it in a couple years myself because my mother stole my DVD and she hasn't given it back to me yet. So that's why I
They
haven't
just
seen it.
released it in 4K.
Oh, okay. Well then, because I'm gonna need to. I want to get it like an HD thing because she stole my damn DVD and she keeps forgetting to give it back to me. But that's very heartwarming. So I'm sure you guys have seen it. I know Vermission. I believe you've seen it. Ramblin'. I don't know if you have, but
I haven't seen it. No, not familiar with it at all. I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's a good movie. It's my sister's one of my sisters. It's her famous favorite Christmas movie. That's actually why I bought it in 4K. It's also very layered and there's a lot to it, and it's a good movie.
Right
Yeah.
on. Well, maybe I'll have to check it
It's
out.
my mother's. That's my mother's favorite. That's why she what happened was she had a DVD and it got destroyed somehow. I think it got water damage. So she knew I had a copy, so she kind of like stole it from me. But so I'll go on to my final. My favorite Christmas movie is Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of the most unique Christmas movies that I think has been made, and it starred Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, and he plays a father who is very business oriented, and pretty much like a couple days before Christmas, or like it's the day before, like a week before Christmas, he has to try to acquire a doll that his son wants to, trying to get back into his good graces because he forgot to be at the karate class. So shenanigans ensue. Sinbad is in there. Very great actor. Love Sinbad, or comedian, because he's more of a comedian than an actor. But shenanigans ensue, and in the end, after a crazy scene at the end, which is it because the movie goes from pretty much being grounded in reality to this is crazy and it's like off into like a fantasy world, but it still has a great message at the end, and the good guy wins, and then the ending is one of the funniest endings ever, because like, gee, since you got him the doll, what'd you get me? Classic, one of the best endings to a movie ever. If you guys know the scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Jingle All the Way. What do you guys have you guys seen it? How long has it been since you've seen it? What do you remember from it? Did you guys find it funny?
It's probably been a decade at least since I've seen the movie. I remember watching it as a kid and loving this movie. The whole Turbo Man thing, Arnold Schwarzenegger getting into fights with people on Black Friday, like trying to get the last doll. I remember that. Like great flick. And of course, like the whole underlying theme being that like spending time with your family is more important than material goods. That are like these, getting the best toy or whatever. But like, I really liked it. I remember really loving the movie, and if I recall, I don't remember all of it, but I do remember Arnold Schwarzenegger being dressed up as the superhero at some point in the movie.
Yeah, the end scene where he has to fight Sinbad, because Sinbad is pretty much the foil during the entire movie. He starts off as just like an innocent postal worker and turns into the bad guy from the TV series. So he has to fight him and get the doll for Jamie, his son, who is actually, I forget the actor's name. I'm sure Vermicious, you know who it is, but he also is like Anakin Skywalker in like the first Star Wars movie.
Hayden Christensen?
No, the young kid. The young.
Oh
young
yes,
kid.
is that him?
Yeah, that's the same actor.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that guy's name, but I know what you're talking about, like episode 1.
But
right?
He was better in Jingle All the Way.
He was. I mean, because now Jingle only had so many memorable scenes, like when he is trying to find the Turbo Man, and Santa, the mall Santa, takes him to the warehouse to get him a Santa, and it's actually just like a crappy like Spanish version one, which is broken. So he ends up having to fight all the Santas, and one of them is the Big Show.
Yeah, who is I always remember that part, because I knew Arnold Schwarzenegger's a fairly large man, but that dude is ginormous.
Yeah. I'm gonna deck your halls, bub.
Yeah.
Dude, and then what's the scene where he's fighting the reindeer inside his neighbor's house, and that guy's trying to freaking bang his wife the entire time.
Oh yeah, because he was doing that was a Hart. He was it was the
Phil
actor.
Hartman, yeah, because he's
Phil Hartman,
because he's from famous from Simpsons and all that, yeah.
Yeah, SNL. He was a SNL guy, and so he's after all the married women in the show, which is ironically how he died, because I believe his wife killed him because she was cheating on him.
Wait, so she was cheating on him, and
he was cheating on her. Excuse me.
Okay. Because I'd be like, damn. She's like, damn. She's trying to like set him up, and then also because she's like trying to set up.
Cheats on him and then whacks him. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
that.
like damn.
No, that was the story at the time. I think that's how it happened. I think it was something weird, but yeah, that's what it was. That's how he ended up dying.
Oh wow, that's crazy. But that took a crazy turn. But no, yeah, there's so many memorable scene. There's another scene. Shoot. Okay. When my wife was watching it a couple of years ago with me, the scene where he's trying to get the rubber ball, and it's going through the mall, and it lands with the kid, and the kid puts it in his mouth, and he's trying to like grab the kid. Like stuff like that would never happen nowadays, because like the person would get probably like shot instantly.
Yeah.
And he's just because he's just grabbing some other person's kid, and she's asking like, is that kid like, is that a boy or a girl? And it's like, and he's like, apparently everybody knew, like Arnold was like, hey little girl, it's like, would you like this ball? I'm just like, dude, do you know how creepy that sounds?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is, so we were talking about Jingle All the Way with the Turbo Man doll, and we were talking about Chucky. It's interesting to me how often movies reflect real life at the time, and both those movies do, because Chucky had to do it with, as a mirror of the Cabbage Patch thing, and then Turbo Man was a mirror of Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, everybody, because all the kids were like, I want the red Power Man. Oh no, I want green.
Well, look,
yellow Power Man.
Exactly, and that's why maybe I love Jingle All the Way so much, is it reminds me. So one of my first jobs early on was working at a place called Service Merchandise, which actually sold toys. I was the guy like handing Power Rangers out to like the just the mobs of moms, and you would open a box, man, and they were on you just immediately. It was exactly like that,
swarming around, crashing into people. grabbing it from other people. It's like, I need the red one. Or it's like, oh, you need the red one? Well, I'm sorry, we're all out of the red one. It's like, what's that scene where the guys are like, it's like, I'm looking for a Turbo Man doll. It's like, and the one guy just starts laughing in his face. It's like, oh, did you hear that? He's looking for a Turbo Man doll. And they,
Yes, that was exactly what it was like. That's dead on. That's not like something they made up.
Yeah, I remember people getting like stampeded on Black Friday and stuff. Fights, people getting seriously injured trying to get the last PlayStation or whatever.
remember
like
Mark
that.
Dice when he used to do the Thanksgiving Day blowhorning all the zombie shoppers, and you guys remember those videos from Mark Dice?
No.
Oh, he still has them up. You'll have to like look them up on YouTube. Put like Thanksgiving Black Friday bullhorning, and it's just Mark Dice going down the lane of people like standing outside like Targets or like Walmarts or something, saying like just like shaming all the people like coming out like just after Thanksgiving. He's like making all these people work, and he's just like shaming these people and like cracking off jokes about them, calling them zombies, like imitating zombies. Some people laughed, a lot of people were getting pissed, but no, he did that for several years, like bullhorning people. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I have to look that up.
It's hilarious content. You'll be laughing your ass off.
Is it similar to Triumph the dog and the Star Wars people? Is it that bad?
Triumph the insult
Triumph the
comedy dog.
It's because that's like you like man, because I know he also does the man on the street stuff, or he used to, but this is where he's like literally in his like vehicle driving through the parking lot with a bullhorn in the car, just driving by the line of people, just completely shaming them all.
I think that's how it got started. With
it's
all
classic. The man on the street stuff.
Yeah,
that's how he got like started. And then I think that's who started imitating it. The dog and everything with the cigar.
Yeah.
Triumph. Triumph. Yeah. I didn't watch too much Comedy Central when I was a kid. I remember watching South Park, but that was about it.
I had that whole skit saved in my media collection with Triumph and the Star Wars folks, because that is one of the best pieces of comedy ever.
Yeah, Triumph is pretty hilarious for sure. He would say stuff that he probably couldn't get away with saying now.
Oh right. God, no.
Well, and what made that particular skit so great at the time with the Star Wars folks is that they were all laughing too. No one was offended. It was all a big joke. It was great.
Yeah, we're starting to watch movies like come back around, like movies made in like the 90s, early 2000s. Things that you're thinking, because in your brain you've seen these movies, so it's like, oh, they're not old, but it's actually you're looking back, these things like 25 plus years old now, and you're rewatching these things, and you're like, oh, you'd never be able to say that now.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. Geez.
Oh yeah, that's even going further and further back. Yeah. Man, what's not Blazing Saddles? Shoot. Why is it Robin Hood? Robin Hood.
Oh, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Classic.
Yeah.
Now we're going off into a tangent here. Now we're just going off into like really just like good movies. But you know what? I think what we'll do is we will wrap it up there. One last honorable mention. I know you'll probably enjoy this. Hallmark movies. Oh my God, my job is like being swallowed up by like another conglomerate. I'm gonna go home to my hometown and start like a small business there, and then whoops, I ran into my dreamy ex from high school and we fall in love again. Those are always fun, right?
No,
not my style of movie.
No, those aren't fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people have a guilty pleasure for them. It's just not my thing. I mean,
well, here, let me embarrass myself a little bit. I don't like those, and I know probably it's typically a woman thing that enjoy those most, because that's the kind of movie it is, and some of them are really good, right? Are done really well. There's one I like, just one. Hold on, I have to see it. I forget the name of it. I watch it every year. I've watched it recently, and you're going to make fun of me, and it's okay. I understand. It is. Hold on. Let's see. Is it the Mistletones? Y'all know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, what is it? Hold on. I'll tell you real quick. If I guess if you've ever seen it, I would be shocked.
If we ever saw it, we would know what it, or oh dang, if we ever
You would
saw
know what it was. What
Yeah.
was it? No, gosh.
You would even
God
know
bless
it. Blows. I don't know. I butchered that. Well, while you're searching for that, like another, I just remembered this one, The Holiday, with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. That's a very good movie. That's a guilty
I
pleasure.
don't know
of mine.
that one.
That's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's not really a holiday movie, but it takes place just like around Christmas time, where they swap houses on like a staycation, but they like swap houses. One goes to LA and the other one goes to the English countryside, and they fall in love with some dudes there in their prospective areas. So that's a decent movie, The Holiday, with Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. Jack Black's in it, and Jude Law and Jude Law. Jack Black and Jude Law are the love interests.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
So the one I was talking about is called The Mistletones. It has, I think it's Tia Mowry and Tori Spelling, and it's free. It's okay to mock me. It's okay, but I do like that one.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
It is. So is the Medea Christmas movie. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Medea movies are pretty funny. I got it.
Ramblin', before we go, any guilty pleasures?
So one that just popped up in my head was Just Friends. It's from 2005. It's got Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart, and it's a movie where it starts off where he's like a fat guy, and Ryan Reynolds is like a fat guy in high school.
Oh yeah.
He gets embarrassed, and then he leaves, he becomes like a rich studio executive in Hollywood, and then he comes back to his hometown, and he's all shallow and jaded from living in Hollywood, living his perfect life that he wanted or whatever, right? And he's trying to reconnect with his high school crush, but he's too jaded for her, and so he's trying to become a good person again. I thought that's a pretty good movie.
Breaks through and gets the girl.
Was it? Yeah. Is that the one with Amy Poehler in it as like his producer or his agent or something?
Maybe. I don't remember who played his producer or his,
I think I know the movie you're talking about.
It was a good movie. It's just something that popped up in my head when you were mentioning the Hallmark movies where you're coming back to your hometown thing. I was like, what was that movie? So I had to look it up really quick. But yeah, good film.
Alrighty, guys. Yep, we'll wrap it up there. That was a great discussion. I enjoyed our talk. Great to reminisce on some good, fun, favorite Christmas movies, some classics as well. I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas. I see you Ramblin'. You're already starting. That was a nice display that you created for your background there.
Thanks, man.
I know
that's awesome. Yes, absolutely.
I know. Yeah, because he said he just whipped it up real quick. So that's pretty good, man. AI, dude, it's crazy stuff. You can do pretty much anything with AI nowadays. You gotta be careful with that stuff. But no, all right. So everybody, hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Hope everybody has a good time with their family and friends. Get some good presents, and has a great New Year. So with that, I will see you guys later, and peace out. Say goodbye.
Have a blessed one.
Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.